Steel built the modern world. In the late 19th century, the world stood on the brink of an extraordinary transformation. Cities were swelling with new arrivals seeking opportunity. Railroads were stretching across vast continents, connecting remote towns and booming metropolises. Nations competed fiercely to industrialize, driven by the promise of progress, wealth, and power. At the center of this revolution was a single material that would redefine human civilization: steel. Stronger, more versatile, and ultimately cheaper than iron or wood, steel became the literal framework of modernity. This is the story of the Steel Kings, visionary, ruthless, and brilliant industrialists who forged steel into the backbone of our world. The central figure in this epic was Andrew Carnegie, a man whose life reads like a rags-to-riches tale written by history itself. Born on November 25, 1835 in Dunfermline, Scotland, Carnegie entered the world in a humble one-room weaver's cottage. His father, William, was a skilled handloom weaver, but the Industrial Revolution's mechanized factories were rapidly destroying the traditional cottage industry. As demand for handmade textiles plummeted, the Carnegie family faced poverty and uncertainty. In 1848, when Andrew was just 13, the family made the difficult decision to emigrate to America in search of a better life. They boarded a ship, traveling in cramped steerage class alongside hundreds of other hopeful immigrants. The Atlantic crossing was brutal: weeks of rough seas, limited food, stale air, and the constant fear of disease. Many passengers fell ill, but the Carnegies endured. They eventually made their way inland, settling in Allegheny, Pennsylvania, near the growing industrial hub of Pittsburgh. Young Andrew wasted no time. He immediately went to work to support his family. His first job was as a bobbin boy in a cotton mill, where he labored from dawn to dark for $1.20 a week, carrying spools of thread to the weavers. The work was monotonous and exhausting for a child. Later, he became a telegraph messenger boy, dashing on foot across the city delivering messages. Despite the long hours, Carnegie was determined to improve himself. He borrowed books from the personal library of a local benefactor, Colonel James Anderson, who generously opened his collection to working boys. These books became Carnegie's true education, fueling his ambition and broadening his worldview. His big break came when he landed a position with the Pennsylvania Railroad. Starting as a telegraph operator, he quickly rose through the ranks, eventually becoming superintendent of the Pittsburgh division by age 24. There, he absorbed invaluable lessons in business management, logistics, efficiency, and investing. He made smart early investments in railroads, sleeping cars, bridges, and even oil wells. By his early 30s, Carnegie had already built a solid foundation of wealth and experience. By the early 1870s, Carnegie turned his sharp eye toward the steel industry. He had visited steel operations in England and witnessed the potential of new technologies. His vision was bold and clear: the company that could produce high-quality steel faster, cheaper, and on a massive scale would dominate not just the market, but help shape the future of industry itself. Carnegie's greatest strategic masterstroke was vertical integration. Rather than relying on suppliers, he sought to control every link in the supply chain. He acquired iron ore mines, coal fields, limestone quarries, coke ovens, ships on the Great Lakes, and railroads to transport raw materials. This gave Carnegie Steel unmatched cost advantages, quality control, and resilience against market fluctuations. The steel-making process itself was a dramatic, almost alchemical spectacle. It began with raw materials: iron ore from mines like those in Minnesota's Mesabi Range, coal turned into coke in towering ovens, and limestone as a flux. In giant blast furnaces, these ingredients were heated to over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, producing molten pig iron. This pig iron was then transferred to Bessemer converters. pear-shaped vessels where blasts of air were forced through the molten metal to burn off impurities like carbon, silicon, and phosphorus. Precise amounts of carbon were then added back to create strong, flexible steel. Later, Carnegie adopted the even more efficient open hearth process, which allowed better control over the chemistry and use of scrap metal. The mills were places of incredible intensity. Workers toiled in sweltering heat, surrounded by the roar of machinery, the glow of molten metal, and the ever-present danger of accidents. Shifts were long, conditions harsh, yet the output was revolutionary. Steel production costs plummeted, making the material affordable for widespread use. By the 1890s, Carnegie Steel had become the largest and most efficient steel producer on the planet. At its peak, it produced more steel than all of Great Britain combined. Carnegie's steel quite literally built the modern world. The Brooklyn Bridge, with its innovative steel cables, the internal framework of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, endless miles of railroad tracks that connected the American continent, and the steel skeletons of skyscrapers that allowed cities to reach dramatically toward the sky. Yet success came with controversy. Carnegie's longtime partner, Henry Clay Frick, was a brilliant but cold and aggressive executive. In 1892, one of America's most infamous labor conflicts erupted at the Homestead Steel Works. When the contract with the Amalgamated Association of Iron and Steel Workers expired, Frick, with Carnegie's approval while abroad, cut wages and locked out workers. Tensions boiled over when Frick hired Pinkerton detectives to secure the plant. On July 6th, a fierce battle erupted between strikers and the Pinkertons on the banks of the Monongahela River. Gunfire rang out, resulting in deaths on both sides. The state militia eventually intervened. The strike was broken, dealing a major setback to union efforts in the steel industry. The event shocked the nation and stained Carnegie's reputation, even though he was not physically present. In 1901, the story reached its dramatic climax. The powerful financier J.P. Morgan approached Carnegie with an audacious plan to create the first billion-dollar corporation in history by consolidating major steel companies. Morgan's offer for Carnegie Steel was staggering, approximately $480 million. Carnegie accepted, famously scribbling his acceptance on a simple note. This transaction birthed the United States Steel Corporation, the world's largest company at the time. Supporting figures played crucial roles. Charles M. Schwab started as a stake driver in one of Carnegie's mills and rose rapidly through intelligence and drive to become president of Carnegie Steel. Elbert H. Gary became the first chairman of U.S. Steel. The Steel Kings didn't just make a product, they forged the physical foundation of the modern world, leaving an enduring legacy in every bridge we cross, every train we ride, and every city skyline we admire. Their story is one of ambition, ingenuity, conflict, and transformation, a testament to how determined individuals can reshape civilization itself.